Hey fellow babies, welcome back to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. I moved locations because they're installing floor in my office right now. Anyway, you're watching on SIFTD. I'm hopeful that you are a Patreon patron and you're getting this real time. If you are not doing that, or even if you are doing that, sign up for Amazon Prime and link that to your Twitch Prime account. Amazon will pay us if you link your Amazon account with your Twitch account. The instructions are in the show description. If you're doing neither of those, you're getting this a week late on YouTube. You can subscribe on YouTube and we'll manage to let you get that early as well. If you don't subscribe, then you just have to wait for your dose of pack love in an extra week. Okay, let's get to today's question from YouTube from Gene Machine. Xbox has now delayed all its major releases for 2022 into 2023, and anecdotal evidence suggests a lot of people are canceling their Game Pass subscriptions. Wow. It's looking like the Xbox of old once again. What do you think happened, and will this lack of big exclusive games have an impact in the long run? You've said that PlayStation needs its exclusives on PlayStation Plus day and date to compete. Where does this leave Xbox and Game Pass? Microsoft's announcing all of its showcase stuff on Sunday, I believe, June 12th. I actually have all the information under embargo. And when I said I'm glad that we're taping it today, I haven't read it yet because I got all of it on Monday and I knew I was taping this today and I don't want to slip. I didn't want to say something that I would regret. So Microsoft, I know somebody from Microsoft is watching. I really haven't read it. So if I guess, it's a guess. I do not know what you guys are announcing for Sunday, but I'll bet you that there's something coming out. How's that? Starfield is Bethesda. Who didn't know that Bethesda would delay a game? Like, of course. So I'm not surprised at that. I don't know what you consider major. I haven't looked at the embargoed stuff, but there is another Hellblade coming. I don't know when that's dated. And again, I know that it's not for this year, but there's an Outer Worlds 2 in development. God knows when the Activision deal is going to close, but please believe me, if Activision's deal closes, Call of Duty will be on Game Pass. And it might close. Look, if people quit Game Pass because they want to save, the extra $10 a month, because remember it's $5 for Xbox Live Gold without Game Pass, and it's $15 for Game Pass including Xbox Live Gold. So if people want to save $10 a month and still play multiplayer Xbox, God bless them. But you're getting all this shit next year anyway. So I mean, it kind of surprises me that anybody would bother. And I say that. Like, people do churn out of Netflix and churn back in, and they watch everything they have to watch, and they're going to come back next year. I don't think Microsoft cares. If you quit now and you join next year, Microsoft will survive. They're not going out of business over that. I think that part of the reason that they bought those 6 studios, which included, Obsidian and I forgot who makes Hellblade, but those guys, and Bethesda, is because they wanted to have a pipeline of content and they want to have catalog content. I don't know, like I said, I didn't listen or read the embargoed information. There's probably some Bethesda remasters coming, Elder Scrolls 5 or something, remastered for Xbox Game Pass, something. There's probably going to be a deal with Activision just for some content on it, because what the hell, why not? Ultimately, I think you're going to get every version of Call of Duty ever made remastered for Game Pass. You've already got all the EA content that's a year old and older on Game Pass. So if you quit because there's no new releases, that's like quitting, Netflix because you're caught up with Ozark and there's no new Ozark coming. Well, great, if that's the only reason you watch it. People who have Netflix tend to watch 30 hours a month of crap because they have tons of it. They have, thousands of shows that you would never brag about or tell anybody about, but they're interesting and they're okay. So I don't think Microsoft cares. I think they're in this for the long run. I still think the Activision deal closes, so I think you're going to get a lot of catalog there. I still think the Bethesda deal is going to generate a ton of catalog content that'll show up on the platform. And I don't think Microsoft's done buying stuff. So not worried about this holiday. Game Pass is not a reason to buy an Xbox. You can play it on PC. You don't need it. Ultimately, you'll be able to play it on TV without an Xbox. If you have the Game Pass PC subscription, there absolutely is a way to link that to your television and play it with a game controller on your TV. So I think that's Microsoft's long-term goal. They want a subscription out of this. They're far less concerned about hardware. They don't make money on hardware. They sell hardware to sell software. And they would much rather have 180 a year from you in perpetuity than worry about how many games you buy and how many games you play. They just have to give you enough to keep you subscribing. That's the HBO model. I mean, look at HBO. They don't put out that many shows, but they're good and they're spaced out perfectly to keep you coming back. So HBO's like 30 shows a year. That's not enough to justify spending $15 a month. And by the way, we don't watch them all. We watch 4, 6. That's the smart way to do it. Microsoft's adopting that approach to game content for Game Pass. So I wouldn't worry about 1 year. I think once Activision's deal closes, Microsoft will have 2 to 3 big new releases a year. Ideally 2 or 3 from Activision, 1 from Bethesda, 1 from Microsoft Game Studios, and you could probably get to a big title every quarter and 1 or 2 minor titles every quarter. Minor being like the Hellblades of the world. Good games, but not blockbuster Halo. And I think that's good enough. I think that will keep people subscribing. And as you roll in catalog, that's like adding Seinfeld to Netflix. It's old, but it's new to you if you haven't played it before. So I think I was talking to Shane about this last time we taped. If you're like 25, and if your parents didn't let you play Call of Duty till you were 15 or 14, you've only played the last 11 out of 18. You haven't played the first 7. And so they'll all be new to you. And if you're younger than 25, you played fewer. And if you're over 35 and you played them all, you have some nostalgia for some of the original Modern Warfare. That was a fun game. So I think there's plenty of room to roll out the catalog. I can't imagine very many of you have played Tony Hawk 3. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, what an amazing game. If you go back to Netflix in 2011, they had House of Cards and Orange is the New Black and nothing else. They didn't have new shows. And in 2012, they just had season 2 of those shows. They didn't have any big new releases. It took them, in 2013 they had more, in 14 more, 15 more. It's cumulative. It takes a long time. And Microsoft's going after that. That's when they added Bethesda, they didn't instantly add more than 1 game every 3 years. And Starfield will come out eventually. But you will get Elder Scrolls 6. It's going to come. And you will get at least more Fallout 76 content, if nothing else. I mean, there will be stuff. But Activision, for sure, Call of Duty every year. I mean, for sure, they have stuff. I think that they made the brand tired, and I think they needed a reset. And I think they also messed up with how they handled the Sledgehammer guys. So they lost Vince and Jason West at Infinity Ward. And while that studio's okay, Treyarch became the dominant studio. Then Sledgehammer was really good. And they had Glenn Schofield and Mike Condrey, and they lost those guys. And that became a problem. So I think part of it is the management style, that they were too hard on developers and lost a lot of people. So that finally caught up with them. I don't think Call of Duty will be back and it'll be good, but Microsoft does need content, and it's going to take them 5 or 7 more years before they have that regular cadence of 1 giant title every quarter. But I think that's their goal, and 1 giant title every quarter is plenty. That'll keep people coming back. So I don't think they care if people quit and then rejoin. They need to get broader appeal titles. Forza's a niche game. I mean, it just is. Gears of War is not. Gears of War has huge appeal. But they don't have that many titles. I mean, Forza's not that game. It's fun, but it's niche-y. So I think Microsoft's struggling with that, which is why the Activision acquisition. And honestly, I think Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 have pretty big appeal. People will subscribe. Frankly, I think World of Warcraft as a subscription that's included free with Game Pass, who subscribes to World of Warcraft for $15 a month who won't switch over to Game Pass? You get your World of Warcraft subscription and everything else. Every single one of those guys is going to subscribe. So the Activision deal automatically brings over between 3 and 6 million, depending how you want to count the subscription base. I mean, it's big. So I think they're going to try to do more and more and more Blizzard, more and more and more Activision, more and more and more Bethesda, and then tuck in the Microsoft Game Studio stuff, like In Exile's going to have a title eventually. You know, so and they're not done buying stuff. They'll find somebody else to buy. And I honestly think Phil Spencer is really a good operator. I think he's smart. I think Matt Booty is a good studio head, and I think people really like working for him. So I think that they're going to be super productive, and you're going to get a lot of stuff out. Elder Scrolls 6, you heard it here first in 2015. Thanks for joining us on Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. I hope you're watching real time as either a Patreon patron or as a YouTube subscriber, or link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account so we get paid. Any of those things is great. If you're watching it a week late because you don't have money or you don't care to support Shane in his efforts to make me famous, then please follow me on Twitter at Michael Pachter. See you next week.